Good afternoon, Muskegon.
Good afternoon.
This is Tony Williams.
And Chauncey Williams with What Do I Do Now, your guide to credit, debt, and planning for your financial success with 103.7 The Beat.
Oh, man, winters just won't go away, Chauncey.
No, it won't. I mean, he gave us an ice storm. I mean, I know this show is pre-recorded. They had 2 snow days this week, some schools.
Yeah, but we only came out of it with 1.
And that was a good call.
I really thought it was.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, we had some naysayers, which you always do.
Yeah, I drove to work. So then I drove to work in one of the most dangerous areas, Getty and Sherman.
You got that right.
Because that's that hill. Then that was not today, but that was the day we had supposed to have the first snow day. So when I went down that hill, it wasn't icy.
It was Tuesday.
That's right.
It would have been Tuesday,
So now I'm at the Y this morning. I see one of my buddies. They own the old Vance barbershop.
Oh, okay.
Right? And he's like, man, he said, did you come to work this morning? I said, no, I ain't drive early because I usually drive before they announce.
Oh, okay.
The snow day.
Game, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
So he said, I'm glad you did. He said, man, it was about 50 cars piled up because they coming down that hill.
Can't stop.
And they can't stop and they sliding.
Yeah, because you can't get up it
yep.
either.
So they knocked out like 4 mailboxes.
Man.
Out of there.
Well, I've gotten calls in the past for customers of mine that have been involved in that Getty Street fiasco, but this year I was lucky. I didn't get any calls for that situation, so that was good. But
yeah, that's good.
But hopefully, yesterday was 50 degrees, man, in Detroit.
50? You was in Detroit yesterday?
No, I was just looking at the weather, checking the weather.
Okay.
50 degrees in Detroit. So what's the deal, man? Why can't we get no 50?
I don't know. We landlocked.
Okay.
We got the water right there, but I don't know. It's
that old lake
different.
effect.
Yeah, our lake effect is a lot
man.
different.
Yes, sir.
It was warm though.
Yeah, it wasn't bad.
Sun was shining bright today.
Rain all day. How you like that?
I like that.
We go from snow, we had inches and inches of snow, cold, then it rains. Michigan's weather, it's got to be some of the strangest weather in the world.
Yes, it does.
But we're here. That's what we do.
Yeah. It's been some good basketball going on lately.
Yeah, it has been.
In our area.
That's what I know. We had that Showcase Classic last week.
That's right.
Which was a very entertaining basketball. Yes, it was.
All those teams that came. I missed the Saginaw game against the Indiana team?
Yeah, Indiana.
They say it was a boy on that team just touching the top of the backboard, like blocking shots.
Man, that dude could just jump out the gym. He can jump up there. It was put 25 cents on top of the backboard.
Yes.
He could jump up there, grab the 25 cents and leave you 2 dimes and a nickel before he come back down.
Oh, that's like Bo Kimball. Bo Kimball that played for the Clippers and
Skywalker
with Lowell Marymount.
Oh yeah. Yeah,
who was his teammate? Is it Hank Gathers?
Hank Gathers.
That's right, Hank Gathers.
Yep, Hank Gathers.
Yeah, they was getting it.
So yeah, that turned out to be a great success. Big Red showed up, played Whitney Young, which always a formidable opponent.
That's right.
The Windy City, and Big Red's played good basketball.
Yeah, they did. I can remember the Whitney Young battles are pretty good, man. Even when Keith Days was at Hikes, it was always good. I remember some monumental plays and games. I'm gonna take it back to when he was at Hikes. There was a guy named by Jamil Thornton, and they was down like 25.
Wow.
Hikes was, right? And Jamil Thornton used to come off the bench. So Coach Guy put him in the bench, and he had a brace on his arm, like his arm was broke, his left hand. He brought him back by himself. All 3 pointers.
Where's that kid at today?
Look, I'm talking about the clip.
Really?
If anybody got any footage of that, they need to post that because it was ridiculous.
Man,
he shot the ball extremely well, extremely deep. Because they had like 2 boys that was 6'10". They ended up beating them.
Really? They came back from 25. In high school basketball, man, that's a huge deficit.
It was playing terrible. I can tell you, they had this. They had a brother that was they had white chocolate on their team, right?
Oh, really?
Yeah, he was like a white chocolate. He was big, like 6'3". He's shooting free throws, right? Nobody blocks him out from Whitney Young. He gets it, dunks it back in.
Whoa.
So that was like the demoralizing play. Like they down by 25. They just banging on them. They sticking it to him, right? Enters Jamil Thornton.
Unknown.
Like Gilbert Arenas. He was just letting it. I don't know if kids know what Gilbert Arenas is, but.
No, he was raining 3-pointers that day, though.
I'm talking about they up when he done.
Okay.
After the quarter done, they tied up.
That is absolutely amazing. I didn't see that, man, but that had to be a very memorable event because you remember it.
I remember it. That was one of them. And then another one I remember, I know one year they got mashed. They did mash them. They had some real
Okay.
good kids. But then I remember hip hop. He played that dunk he got. Remember that dunk he got on that guy on that guard?
Oh yeah,
Whew,
yeah.
that
Oh yeah,
place-
that's what. That was amazing.
That was amazing.
Yes, it was. I remember
Yeah,
that.
so it's some good games that they done had, and it's good clash for the West, the region that we in, the Midwest,
Yeah, it is.
the Battle of the Midwest.
Yes, it is. I just want to, just to see just a little bit more flavor out of the GR area. You know, if we could have probably brought in a Grand Rapids Christian.
Yeah,
You
I think
know,
they
so-
scared, man.
They should be.
Yeah,
But you know, they claim to be one of the best teams in West Michigan.
Now from what I seen, did you go to the Reese Buffer game?
I went. You
You see the boy, Derek Fisher nephew shoot them 17 3-pointers and make like 2 of them. He made only 7 points.
Right. They're overrated.
Yeah, he not even feeding the post right.
So you know, unfortunately, you know they won't play us.
No, unless it's a region.
They have no choice.
And when that Hawk
when
comes,
you get paired up in the tournament, you can't dodge us.
I don't think he can survive the Hawk.
No.
That
No,
heat they got.
these
Muskegon
kids-
stop everything. They stop the dribble drive. They stop the big man. Them kids from a different breed.
They're just so athletic, man, and they just don't give up. They're
I'm taking
tenacious.
my son hurt that day.
Right. And letting my son get embarrassed. And they're getting better. That's the scary
They getting
part.
better
They're getting better, man.
And then we played a local talent here. I think it was the first time they played Fruitport the other day.
man.
And you know that's rough on Fruitport. They got to
It
change
is.
how they classify their kids because
They do.
that's
They do.
they count the adult ed kids or the community building or something like that, the trades,
Mm-hmm.
and it's hurting their numbers now because
Yeah.
it's like it's showing up for a parade of field goals and dunks.
Yeah, I don't even think they got 25 points, did they?
And they had 9 in the third quarter.
Right.
It was 60-9 in the third quarter.
Yeah. Tomorrow's going to be the same thing.
Right.
Friday night when we play Kennewood Hills.
You're right.
There's really no teams around here that's going to compete with the Big Reds, man.
They might as well just get that man what he want, an independent schedule.
Yeah.
And let him just get in a charter bus and just
Right.
go around like a Whitney Young in Michigan.
Yep.
Give it to him like he used to do back in the day.
Yep.
Make his own schedule.
And you know what? I don't think the people in the OK Black would complain about it
I
either.
don't think they would either. I know Grammars Junior would like it because that's a good young coach. My man, he's 22 years old.
Right.
He had some good teams, but then every time he played, it's like they
Motor
take the
shows.
heart out of him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. They
And there's some good kids. There's some good talent in this area.
Yes,
I'm not knocking nobody's talent, but this is a monster over here.
Yeah, it is. It's kind of an unsung, you know,
Yeah.
because over the years we've had, you know, the marquee players, right?
Yes.
You know, but this year it's like there's really no one main go-to guy.
They could put 5 guys on the court that's probably 6'3".
Okay.
In high school,
Yeah.
that's
And like I say, and jump out the gym.
I
They're
know.
athletic, man.
everybody can handle the ball. Everybody can shoot. They defend like it's crazy, and they bringing 5 more off the bench.
5 more.
That's gonna do whatever they tell them. So it's like, and then just being in a girls program, being one of the girls coaches on the staff, that makes our girls want to. They like, I want that level of play. They say that. So it's like
Right.
it's helping us go up to the notch too. So I appreciate the program overall, and all the kids being hungry to do better and want to do better academically and socially and sports wise.
And that's great, man. That's what the Muskegon athletic program has become, a system of being just competitive, and each and every kid builds off of each other, and it's awesome.
That's right.
Fantastic, man. All right, Coach, what we're going to talk about today?
I was just finishing up. I know last week we were on standing up to the IRS. So what I brought in today is just I'm gonna be real quick. 'Cause I know you got some things, and the president just got done kicking it with us the other day,
Right.
talking
right.
to us about his farewell.
Very
One
well.
thing he forgot to do though on his farewell speech. I know we'll get to his, but I just want to share these little tidbits. But I'm gonna say this: one thing he forgot to do in his speech was
Right.
thank his mother-in-law.
Well,
She's
I
right there.
watched Michelle last night, and Michelle gave her all the kudos, but you nailed it.
Yeah, it's the only
Yeah.
thing he didn't do.
She was never in the limelight. She was never in the light. She stayed in the background and was never a distraction and handled that household.
Yes, she did.
Okay, but you're right, Johnson.
You're
Yep.
right. So what I have today is just learning how to deal with the IRS when you're in a situation. We talked about the different professionals last week. The professionals that we have, I have my notes from last week. We had, if you have tax problems, you get a tax pro like an attorney or an enrolled agent or a certified public accountant. So those are the three kind of people that can help you based on their skill level and everything, what they can do. They're limited in certain capacities. Some of them can do more, but it costs more to get that more. But overall, if you just get a CPA, a good CPA, somebody you got a relationship with over the years, you'll be good. They'll be able to call you in, like you said last week, and get an appointment. So just this week, I just wanted to go real quick over just when you have to deal with them, and it's just different things. The first thing is automatic stay. And the beauty of automatic stay is that the moment that you file your for taxes, your creditors are stopped in their tracks. So like say somebody filed bankruptcy or something, and it's time to file your taxes. The automatic stay even prevents federal and state tax collectors from seizing your property and issuing a lien notices for a period of time, and there are restrictions, however. So certain tax debts don't come up under this. Recent student loans, child support, debts incurred by fraud. So certain debts will stay there. Like the student loan will stay there. I've seen someone in the past, they had to do an automatic stay, and they did a bankruptcy, and they thought they didn't have to pay their student loan back. They're like, yeah, I claim bankruptcy. No, that's one thing. That student loan follow you to the death.
Okay.
So I just want to share that with someone. If you think about, if you're in a situation like I'm gonna do bankruptcy, if you do that and you say, are they gonna get rid of all my debts? What they will probably do is they'll let you go on a forbearance for a longer period of time to give you a longer grace period. And with that longer grace period, Tony, you can build up a new payment plan with them and do that. So that's what the automatic stay does. But some people feel like, I don't have to pay this. So
free pass.
Yeah. So I had a client. This was last year. He did an automatic stay because he had filed bankruptcy, and he has owned some real estate and got a divorce. Okay. So he called me. He's like, man, my student loan. I was like, what is it? He's like, it's 180 days late. I was like, how you let it do that? He said, I filed bankruptcy. I thought it was going.
He didn't get good advice then, did he?
Yeah, so I'm like, your bankruptcy attorney should have told you that. So that's thinking about when you're filing taxes around this time. Some people do go bankrupt, audience. So it's you're like, oh, you talking about those things? I mean, this is life. It's just how it is. Sometimes you up, sometimes you down. So you might be in a situation that you feel that you have to do some things, but those debts like automatic stay, they won't forgive a student loan or child support. Like, I'm a file bankruptcy. This child support killing me. My arrears is killing me. I owe $50,000 in arrears. I'm bankrupt.
You still owe $50,000 in arrears.
So you can't escape it. So does that sound more fitting when I say something like that? Somebody says, I'm gonna go bankrupt to get away from them. So it just make you think that you gotta figure out how to deal with them, and they usually work with you. The second thing is suspending your tax bill. If your finances are bleak, and if you have no job, little or no money, and no immediate prospects, you can ask the revenue officer as an IRS collector to do a 53 on your case. If he or she agrees, it's meant that he recommends it to his supervisors that your tax account balance to be deemed currently not collectible. Now, once your account has been declared as a 53, you won't hear from the IRS concerning your tax bill for up to 1 year. So now you see what's going on right there, right? So you got like a 12-month calendar period to figure out your plan after you do something like this.
Gotcha. Okay.
So if there's ways to get around, and like we talked about it last week with the procrastination, but you want to make sure you got your professionals in place. There's things set up where it can't help you, but if you do it's just like, I got another year, and then you like, I'm gonna wait till the last week of that year to call somebody. No, it means you need a year for that person to sift through the mess that you possibly created, especially if you're in a bankrupt, or if you're in your arrears and child support, or you're in a severed relationship. You know, lifetimes like a divorce or some things like that. I don't wish it on nobody, but it's just looking at those angles of things and seeing how they can put you in a peculiar situation if you don't handle it right away.
That's right.
So I know you deal with that stuff being in life insurance and insurances and annuities and investments.
Oh yeah.
When a relationship is severed or somebody goes bankrupt, a lot of times with those assets, what happens with those assets when it comes to the IRS?
They have to be liquidated.
So if I owe the IRS money, and I claim bankruptcy, or I just owe the IRS money, period, and I go through this situation, and they're gonna look into my assets. I got investments.
Oh, absolutely, man.
IRA.
Yes,
all
sir. That? Yes, sir. Yeah. The only thing that they can't actually take is your defined pension.
Okay.
Okay. But anything
so 403B, all those.
That's on the table.
That's on the table. 'Cause that's money that I can put in that's tax deferred.
That's right. That's liquid assets. That's liquid. We can cash that in now based on a hardship situation.
Okay.
And use that money. Defined pension says that money is sitting in a third party's bank account somewhere. You'll get it once you get to a certain age and you actually, sign up for retirement. But if you got any kind of assets available, liquid, real estate, whatever, it is fair game in the bankruptcy laws.
Okay, so they come and cease it. So if the IRS be like, you owe this, even though you bankrupt, you still owe this.
Yeah, you can't keep that money. We're sorry.
Wow.
Nope. Won't happen.
So those are some ways about time. Now, other ways is the IRS can they can question actually your tax bill. You could do that. Like I don't think I owe this much.
Oh yeah, right.
That's something I did
You
in the
challenge
past
it.
with the $15,000 that I owed years back. I think I got audited back in 2003, I think it was, or 2004. And when that bill came, we questioned it. But I called my CPA because I saw a comma in 3 zeros. I was like, oh,
Okay. I need help.
it's a different ball game right here.
Somebody help.
You know, or if you don't have a job, or like I said earlier, just telling the truth. Anything truthful about time, not a lie. It's like in the courtroom. I heard DJ Hilson the other day on the show.
Yeah.
That he was making sure that you can't lie. You talking about pleading the fifth and leaving out information. You got to make sure that you are on point and on concern with it.
Okay.
Another one is submitting an IRS in compromise. So once your offer is submitted, the IRS usually does not harass you if the legitimate offer. The offers in a compromise to take away can take anywhere to 4 to 12 months to get accepted, and that's something I had did also, a compromise saying that I'm willing to pay this. So those are the pointers and tips of being able to not get over. I was about to say get over. Being able to deal with the IRS. You can't get over the IRS.
You can't.
There's no get over it. There's no shortcuts. There's no things. You don't get out of a situation when you deal with the IRS. It's not gonna happen. So you got to make sure you tell the truth.
Play by the rules and pray for mercy, because they are coming after you. So one of the topics I want to hit on before we close the show out is, we always talk about budgets. Everybody has a budget. The United States has a budget, which is basically prepared by the president and his staff. Okay, and Obama did have a budget for 2017 because he was the outgoing president. So the new president coming in basically has to adhere and honor the budget that's been set forth, or he can, through executive order, go in and change these things. So that's why it is so important that we make sure the people that we have in office has some kind of a connection to that guy that's going out, because you want to see some of the initiatives that he has laid out, stay in effect. I'm going to give you some pointers on what happened over the 8 years that Obama was in office.
Okay, go over those. Now, I know that when he first got in, I was like, I'm going to follow everything this president is doing and see how can I benefit. That's what I looked at. I'm like, and I did that with every president. I'm going to tell you that right now. I did that with every president. Going in, I was in college when Bill Clinton was in. So when you told me you were going to talk about these pointers on the show, I was like, I did that. I researched the presidents. Like, I'm going to say this. I got a book at home with Donald Trump and Robert Kiyosaki. You want to be rich. I like Robert Kiyosaki. Okay? And I got my own opinion about Trump.
Gotcha.
But he's in office, so I'm got to respect the man.
We
in the
respect
position,
the office. Yes,
right?
we do.
But I got his book. So you want to be rich. So I will be following his text and being able to see what he thinks, so I can see his ideology and his mind about finances.
Right.
So that's when you follow the text, you're gonna figure out how he's gonna determine. So I bought Barack Obama's book too when he became president, and I seen like the student loans, him growing up in a single parent home, and the things he suffered with when he was in Chicago. So it gave me a hint and idea. So like the things you're gonna go over today, it's gonna hit home with me heavily.
There's a reflection, okay, of what these guys want America to look like, okay, and this is how he set this budget up going out, okay, but over the 8 years they created 14 million jobs. That's a lot of jobs, because when he took over it was a mess, right?
That's right.
Country was a mess, so everybody was losing jobs and factories closing down, and it was just horrible. But over his 8 years, he was able to create 14 million jobs. Unemployment is below 5%, and that's the first time in 8 years it's been that. So when he took office, it was double digits. So now it's below 5. 18 million people have gained health care coverage as the Affordable Care Act has taken effect. It's not Obamacare, as a lot of people refer to it. The actual name is the Affordable Care Act, which is basically being threatened by the incoming administration. Some of the things that he has set forth in his budget, a record of job growth and economic expansion in this country. And I think that the proof of that is the numbers that I just spoke to. And we want to build success for the strength of our economy. And some of the initiatives that
Now, I remember seeing that when he did it. Remember, it was a big old booklet, and everybody was trying to crack jokes on it. The people that was like the Republicans.
Oh, of course,
Like
Republicans
he
bought
brought
him
out this
every way.
400-page document.
Right.
I remember.
Right. Nobody's read that. Nobody knows what's in there.
I don't know what they do when they were saying like we're gonna vote against it.
Right. Without even reading it.
Yeah.
We're gonna vote against it because it's something that he did.
Yeah.
He authored.
Yep.
He authored those.
Yes, he did.
Those initiatives.
So then he had to get so many judges and had to make so many moves to make certain bills pass. I remember that.
He had no help, man.
No help.
Because it was a Republican Congress and a Republican Senate. So he just basically had to do a lot of things based on executive order. And these are some line items. I can't go into each one individually, but I think just because the title of it, you'll have an understanding of what he's talking about.
Yes.
This is Innovation to Forge a Better Future is what it's titled. And it's building a 21st century transportation system, which says that we understand that our transportation system in this country is old and antiquated, and we need to invest. And his budget says we will invest $320 billion over 10 years in order to build and clean our transportation system up for 21st century.
Yeah, because we got those bridges and stuff. We got bridges, we got subways.
The
It's
subways.
old. The infrastructure.
The infrastructure.
Is old.
Yeah, yeah.
And I remember him talking about the trying to get those speed trains in.
Right. Yeah, yeah. To get good goods and services and people to places in a timely manner. Okay. And it's interesting because the auto industry now, here at the auto show this week, they're getting involved in the technology as well, as far as moving masses of people within the larger cities. And they understand that, there's a market for that because they can build these units versus automobiles. You're always going to sell automobiles, but the auto industry, they can see that they got to have knowledge about what's current and what's in the future in order to survive in this world market. So that was interesting. Prioritizing research and development. He understands that we have to have research and development. And there's $152 billion that he has set aside for that, which is doubling clean energy and R&D, which, again, the incoming administration don't believe this.
No, they don't believe. I'm gonna share a story with you. People, one of my affiliates that I work with, my student loan affiliate, they out of California, right? Mm-hmm. So I had an opportunity to work with them in partnership, where they one of the owners, because it's like 3 owners. One of the owners own green energy, like solar panels,
Right.
and he has it where you can go and do fundraisers for your school for solar panels,
Okay.
for your sports teams and all this. I'm like, is that easy? He said, yeah, we got them everywhere in California.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And I was just like wind turbines, all that. And he said you could do it in Michigan. But he looked, he was like, no,
we don't have enough sunlight.
yeah, we don't have enough sunlight. But then also the groups is certain alternative groups that's
yeah.
for energy, like General Electric, DTE. Those companies
They're gonna fight that.
they're gonna fight that.
Yeah.
They want to keep on using gas.
Gas, coal,
Yep.
Nuclear energy.
That's right.
We don't know what to do with this nuclear waste.
So they're not being innovative because it's like Comcast.
No, they don't. Just because of monopoly. There's no competition. Okay. Again, he just believes in supporting basic research, National Institute of Standards and Technology, supporting a cancer moonshot. Says that he wants to find a cure for cancer, so we need to invest in it. Advancing biomedical research, $33 billion. Revitalizing American manufacturing. Okay. The Rust Belt is what the Midwest has been known, but yet he understands that in order to have jobs, we gotta change on how we train workers. Creating the industry of jobs for the future. This is the budget that helps create industries and jobs for the future, such as supercomputing, big data, robotics, advanced materials, nanotechnology, synthetic biology, self-driving cars. These are the kind of things that we need to invest in. Civil space activities, addressing challenges of agriculture through R&D, because we know farmers have a tough time at it. We don't see as much farmland as we have in the past, so we need to have R&D to help these guys be able to grow crops more abundantly at less cost.
Now let me ask you this. Now, Tony, you talking about a document a man made? I need to make some money, man. That's how people be thinking. They're like, what they got to do with me?
Right. What this got to do with me? Because that means every time you go to the store, the products you buy, especially from an agriculture standpoint, is if we can produce these crops at
Instead
a lower
of buying
cost,
from another country,
or even buying from another country, or we can produce them at a lower cost, that means that you pay less, okay? But through R&D, research and development, we're going to learn how to, through fertilizer, making better use of the land, better equipment, we're going to be able to produce more crops at less cost.
that's you know who's really supporting that? Bill Gates.
Oh, I can believe that.
If they create these, not barn pole buildings, but these greenhouses that
Right.
look like football stadiums.
Yeah.
I'm talking about greenhouses as big as football stadiums, growing produce in them.
And that's an initiative that's taking place in the inner city of Detroit because of all the blight.
That's
They're-
right.
They're tearing these houses down, and they're starting to build these greenhouses
To make gardens.
to make gardens to grow products in the city of Detroit.
Yeah, I've seen a commercial, or I was always studying something. I seen an ad where they had this subdivision. It was condos, where in the center they had the greenhouse where you get all your fresh produce.
From market to table.
Right? Your subdivision is centered around this greenhouse. And
Right.
that's where you go get your vegetation at. And your association dues contribute to the growth.
It's a win-win, man.
Man, that's a win-win. You don't have to go to the grocery store. You got your grapes. You got
Yeah.
everything.
Yeah.
That's what the community that you'll take care of. Like, this community is feeding me.
And that's what the guy, that's what he's
That's what
trying
he wants
to do, man.
with the solar energy and all those
Yeah,
things.
protecting and expanding the nation's water supply. I mean, after the Flint fiasco, we understand that, again, that's part of the infrastructure, water system in this country. We don't know what the lead levels are in
Anywhere.
what we do.
They might be telling somebody something.
That's right.
Who research we trusting on the water anyway?
Whoever's willing to do it,
That's
okay? So
because that was a bait and switch, wasn't it?
Well, yeah, it was done through the emergency manager, and no one in that organization found out. It was a doctor who was testing children in the Flint area and noticed the high levels of lead for all these children. They're the ones that started this research as to find out what happened. But it wasn't the city government or the state government or the federal government that blew the lid off this thing, man. I'm gonna hit a couple more items. I can't get through them all, but this is really great stuff. He want to cut the taxes for family paying for child care with credits up to $3,000, increasing the duration of Head Start programs while maintaining access to Head Start, like $443 million additional, which would total $9.6 billion for our young kids to go to school year-round, supporting universal preschool, investing in voluntary evidence-based home visiting, invest in early learning for children with disabilities, putting all students on the path to college and careers, helping students prepare for college careers, supporting computer science for all, providing tuition-free community college for responsible students, strengthening the Pell Grants, simplifying the free application for student loans.
I'm a product of a Pell Grant.
Okay, I think I am too.
I got that.
I know I did.
I got that every semester.
Yeah, simplifying and expanding education tax benefits, which is the American Opportunity Tax Credit. Okay, that's huge stuff, man. Helping workers get skills they need for the 21st century economy. That's another, part of his budget. Expanding technical training programs for middle class jobs. Expanding the proven learn and earn strategy of apprenticeship, which is like $2 billion.
Wow, listen to this. We're doing, you see me texting on my phone. I'm talking to my buddy, Sean Blanchard. We have him coming in because he's a mentor specialist from the city of Detroit, and he worked with the new mayor and the guy from Cleveland, that owned the Cleveland Cavaliers. What's his name?
Oh,
Daniel Gilbert. Dan Gilbert. So Dan Gilbert pumped all this money in the city of Detroit, and the new mayor came in, and Sean Blanchard ended up working in their office. Sean Blanchard was able to help create 8,000 jobs for our kids.
Okay.
For the kids in the city of Detroit. So what we're doing right now, and I think they're talking to him right now on the phone, on the other side. But that's what it's about: apprenticeship, trying to show kids entrepreneurship. Like we're getting ready to collaborate with MCC, with My Brother's Keeper and Young Brothers to help at least 30 of our guys get 2 college credits in entrepreneurship and have an apprenticeship skill to go into not only a trade, but have their own business.
Right.
When they graduate from high school.
Well, if you get a trade and you are
skilled,
heating and air conditioning,
that's your business.
You can now go into business. You can make a choice.
A welder.
You can make a career choice. Absolutely.
That's right. They give you the truck and everything.
Carpenter. Right. So that's the deal, man. He wants to put, it's like
$2
billion creating a talent compact to keep and attract jobs in the United States. Another $3 billion. Empowering workers, training providers and employers with better information on job skills and training. Opening doors to first job for more young Americans, $5.5 billion. Okay? Creating pathways to high growth jobs. Investing in health professions, education to improve access to health care and providers. Helping America thrive in the 21st century economy. Tax reform that promotes growth and opportunity. Strengthening efforts to help low-income families succeed. Expanding paid leave. Modernizing the unemployment insurance safety net. Michigan just went through a crazy situation where they had 93% of the people that was unemployment was being charged with fraud. The computer system was so jacked up.
Wow.
That 93% of the people that was collecting unemployment has been charged with fraud. But it was not true.
So
Fox 17 did that story.
Some people went to jail then for nothing.
Yeah. Yeah.
They take you to jail, you fraud on unemployment insurance.
That's right. And now those folks, all those administrators, they looking at getting jail time or either getting fired.
Oh man, Michigan, we in trouble.
Helping all workers save for retirement.
We messing with the water. We messing with the insurance.
Ensuring access to quality, affordable health care. Expanding access to mental health care. Addressing the prescription drug and heroin overdose epidemic.
That's big in our county, man.
Oh, yes, it is.
It's real big. Last summer, it was two people's lives last summer.
Is that right?
Because they overdosed.
Wow.
And one of the guys was at the stoplight when I was jogging outside, and one was a lady on the porch, sitting down. Thought she was having a heat stroke, but she wasn't. She overdosed. She didn't die. They didn't die.
Opiate.
Yep.
Opiate, heroin, whatever.
Yeah. I mean, the eyes rolled back and behind the head, everything. So I was on the scene 2 times in the summer.
2 times. So the paramedics, people that get paid to do it, they probably seen 10 times as many.
I know. They was like, you did a good job. They was like,
good,
I knew to move somebody's head. I knew to make sure they balance them out so they don't swallow, they don't choke on their own, spit. So these things that he's talking about, he sees the problems and the issues that's in our nation at large.
Right.
Because the people are overworked. So once you become overworked, you get on a substance.
Yeah.
And you overworked, underpaid, and you struggling. So you trying to figure out a way how to substitute your fun in your life, but you really need to just figure out how to just stay clean and just keep on educating yourself and look at the incentives that's in
this budget,
bills
man.
and budgets that you're trying to pass.
Pray that none of this stuff gets taken off the table.
Because like you said earlier, it'll adversely affect our people real fast.
Yes,
we'll be in trouble.
I mean, these are kind of things that's going to make this country better in the 21st century. But it remains to be seen how that's going to play out. But I just thought it was very interesting that I had an opportunity to look at the line items, and it probably goes a lot deeper than what we have here. But this was just a snapshot of the work that our outgoing president has done, because I truly believe, as a man of character, he cares about this country and the people that live in it.
Okay, well that's
all right.
That's a show, Tony.
Well, I'm Tony Williams,
and I'm Chauncey Williams. This is What Do I Do Now, your guide to credit, debt, and planning for your financial success with 103.7 The Beat.